The galaxy had waited for this moment for centuries. For generations, the Galactic Council, a coalition of advanced alien civilizations, had scanned the stars, searching for signs of intelligent life. They had found many species before, peaceful aquatic beings, insectoid swarms, and even energy-based entities that defied comprehension. But none of them had ever caused such confusion or panic as humanity. When Earth finally developed faster than light travel, it was a signal flare to the rest of the galaxy. Ships from dozens of alien races descended upon Earth's solar system, eager to welcome humanity into their fold. The Council sent its finest diplomats, each carrying gifts of knowledge, technology, and goodwill. Their message was clear: you are not alone. Join us. But instead of joy or gratitude, humanity responded with silence, followed by suspicion. At first, the humans seemed intrigued. News outlets around the world buzzed with reports about glowing spaceships hovering above major cities. Scientists scrambled to analyze the strange symbols etched on the hulls of these vessels. Politicians argued over how to respond. But when the aliens transmitted their message, a simple greeting in thousands of human languages, the reaction wasn't what anyone expected. "Why are they here?" asked one conspiracy theorist on live television. "What do they really want?" Fear spread like wildfire. Decades of science fiction movies had taught humanity to expect the worst from extraterrestrial visitors. Stories of invasions, abductions, and experiments filled people's minds. To many, the Council's offer felt too good to be true. Were they trying to trick humanity? Or worse, were they planning to enslave them? Public protests erupted across the globe. In New York City, thousands gathered outside the United Nations building, holding signs that read "No alien deals" and "Earth first." Meanwhile, online forums exploded with theories. Some claimed the aliens were spies. Others believed they were hiding something sinister behind their polished smiles. Even governments couldn't agree on how to handle the situation. "We don't need their help," declared Dr. Elena Vasquez, a charismatic scientist turned politician, who quickly became the face of the resistance movement. Standing before a crowd of cheering supporters, she raised her fist and shouted, "We've survived wars, plagues, and climate disasters on our own. We don't need aliens telling us what to do." Her words resonated deeply. Humanity had always prided itself on its independence, its ability to overcome challenges through sheer determination. The idea of bowing to an interstellar council didn't sit well with most people. Instead of accepting the aliens' offer, Earth's leaders issued a formal statement. "Thank you for your kindness, but we'll manage just fine without you." To the Galactic Council, this response was baffling. Every other species they had encountered had jumped at the chance to join their alliance. Why were humans so different? Was it arrogance, ignorance, or was there something more to this peculiar species? As the alien diplomats retreated to their ships, unsure of what to do next, humanity celebrated its victory. Fireworks lit up the night sky, and news anchors declared it a triumph of human spirit over foreign influence. But deep down, some wondered if rejecting the Council's offer had been the right choice. After all, the galaxy was vast, and full of dangers no one could predict. Little did anyone know, this decision would set the stage for a cosmic drama unlike anything the universe had ever seen. Back on Earth, the debate raged on. While some people celebrated humanity's bold rejection of the Galactic Council, others were deeply uneasy. Governments held emergency meetings behind closed doors, trying to figure out what to do next. Scientists argued that ignoring the aliens' offer might cost Earth valuable knowledge and opportunities. But politicians like Dr. Elena Vasquez insisted that humanity didn't need handouts. They needed freedom. "We've built rockets, cured diseases, and explored the depths of our oceans," Vasquez said during a televised address. "Why should we bow to anyone now? Let's show the galaxy what humans are made of." Her words struck a chord with millions. For centuries, humanity had dreamed of reaching the stars. Now that they finally had, Many felt it was their destiny to carve out their own path, not follow someone else's rules. The idea of joining the Galactic Council felt like surrendering control, something no one wanted after fighting so hard to get where they were. But not everyone agreed. In university lecture halls, scientists debated the risks of isolationism. Professor Daniel Kim, an astrophysicist at Seoul National University, warned his students about the dangers of rejecting help. "The galaxy is vast," he said, pointing to a star map projected on the wall. "There are species out there far older and more advanced than us. If we refuse to learn from them, we're putting ourselves in danger." Still, public opinion leaned heavily toward independence. Movies, books, and TV shows about alien invasions had shaped how people thought about extraterrestrials. To many, the Galactic Council wasn't just unfamiliar, it was untrustworthy. Social media buzzed with memes mocking the aliens' friendly gestures. One popular video showed a cartoon alien offering a shiny apple, only for it to explode when touched. Beneath the humor lay real fear. What if the aliens weren't as benevolent as they claimed? Meanwhile, engineers and researchers worked tirelessly to reverse engineer alien technology. During brief encounters with the Council's ships, human pilots had managed to capture fragments of wreckage and data packets. These scraps became gold mines of information. Laboratories around the world raced to unlock their secrets, hoping to match, or even surpass, the aliens' advancements. In Silicon Valley, a team of young innovators led by tech prodigy Arjun Patel made headlines when they successfully replicated parts of an alien hyperdrive engine. Their breakthrough proved that humanity could compete without relying on outside help. "We don't need permission to explore the stars," Arjun told reporters, holding up a glowing prototype. "We'll build our own future." This spirit of self-reliance inspired countless others. Across the globe, new industries sprang up overnight, fueled by dreams of space exploration. Factories churned out experimental spacecraft. Entrepreneurs invested billions in mining asteroids for rare materials. Even small nations joined the race, determined not to be left behind. Yet, as humanity surged forward, cracks began to form. Not every country had access to alien tech or the resources to develop their own. Wealthy nations dominated the space race, leaving poorer ones struggling to keep up. Tensions rose as accusations of hoarding and espionage flew between governments. Some feared that humanity's refusal to cooperate with the Council would lead to chaos, not unity. Despite these challenges, humanity pressed on. Cities lit up with neon billboards advertising trips to Mars and beyond. Children gazed at the stars, imagining themselves as pioneers of a new era. For better or worse, humanity had chosen its path, one of defiance, determination, and discovery. As Earth prepared to expand into the cosmos, the Galactic Council watched with growing unease. They had offered friendship, but received rejection in return. Now they wondered if humanity's stubbornness would bring progress or disaster. On the other side of the galaxy, inside a shimmering crystalline chamber aboard their orbital headquarters, the Galactic Council convened an emergency summit. Never before had they encountered a species like humanity, so unpredictable, so defiant, and so utterly unwilling to cooperate. The room buzzed with tension as representatives from dozens of alien races debated what to do next. "This is unprecedented," hissed Zyx Prime, a towering insectoid leader whose chitinous exoskeleton gleamed under the soft glow of bioluminescent lights. "Every civilization we've contacted has welcomed our guidance. These humans refuse us outright." The Zyx Collective, known for their strict adherence to order and hierarchy, viewed humanity's behavior as reckless and dangerous. To them, Earth's rapid technological advancements without proper oversight posed a grave threat to galactic stability. They argued that humanity needed to be brought in line, by force if necessary. Across the table, Lumina Wave, an aquatic ambassador from the Luminara race, floated serenely in her water-filled containment pod. Her voice echoed gently through the chamber. "Perhaps we are misunderstanding them," she suggested. "Their resistance may stem from fear or ignorance. We must give them time to grow. Her words sparked heated arguments. Some council members believed patience was key. Others saw it as weakness. The debate grew louder until Yorick, a hulking reptilian delegate with scales that shifted colors based on his mood, slammed his fist onto the table. "Enough," he roared. "We cannot sit idle while these primitives destabilize the galaxy." Yorick's outburst silenced the room. He pointed a clawed finger at a holographic projection of Earth spinning slowly above the center of the table. "Look at them. They reverse engineer our technology, colonize unclaimed planets, and ignore every diplomatic effort. If left unchecked, they will become a rogue power, a danger to us all." Lumina Wave sighed, ripples forming in her pod. "And yet, violence will only confirm their fears. Attacking them now would make us no better than invaders." As the argument raged on, factions began to form within the council. The Zix Collective pushed for immediate intervention, proposing a blockade around Earth's solar system to prevent further expansion. Other militaristic species sided with them, eager to assert dominance over humanity before it became too powerful. Opposing them were the more peaceful delegates, including the Luminara and several smaller civilizations who admire humanity's creativity and determination. They proposed sending another wave of envoys, this time armed with clearer explanations and cultural exchanges to ease tensions. Caught in the middle was Chancellor Kalian, a wise elder from the energy-based Scytheri race. His translucent body pulsed faintly as he addressed the chamber. "Both sides have valid concerns," he said calmly. "But acting rashly could doom us all. Let us gather more intelligence about these humans before deciding our course of action." Reluctantly, the council agreed to delay any drastic measures, for now. Instead, they authorized covert surveillance missions to monitor Earth's activities. Spy drones disguised as asteroids were dispatched to observe human colonies and military installations. Meanwhile, ambassadors quietly prepared contingency plans, just in case diplomacy failed entirely. Back on Earth, none of this was known. Humanity continued its relentless march into space, oblivious to the growing storm brewing among the stars. Factories churned out starships. Scientists worked around the clock to improve alien-inspired technologies. And leaders like Dr. Elena Vasquez rallied the public with speeches about human ingenuity and resilience. Yet unknown to them, eyes watched from the shadows. Eyes belonging to beings who wondered whether humanity's defiance was a sign of strength or a prelude to catastrophe. Unaware of the Council's growing unease, humanity surged forward with relentless determination. Earth's skies became a blur of activity as sleek starships launched into orbit, their engines roaring like thunder. Colonization efforts expanded rapidly, fueled by ambition, innovation, and sheer audacity. Humanity wasn't just exploring space, it was claiming it. The first human colony on Mars had been established years ago, but now it served as a hub for bolder ventures. Mining operations drilled deep into asteroids, extracting precious metals that powered Earth's economy. Lunar bases acted as waypoints for longer voyages, while research outposts dotted distant moons in uncharted star systems. Every day, humanity stretched its reach further into the cosmos. But this expansion didn't come without conflict. As human settlers claimed new territories, they often encroached on regions already inhabited or utilized by alien species. The Zix Collective, in particular, found themselves at odds with humanity when a human mining vessel accidentally destroyed one of their extraction facilities in a disputed asteroid belt. To the Zix, it was an act of aggression. To the humans, it was an unfortunate accident. "They didn't even warn us they were there," protested Captain Rachel Nguyen, the commander of the mining ship Pioneer's Pride. During a press conference broadcast live across Earth, she held up holographic maps showing no markers indicating Zix's presence in the area. "How are we supposed to know? They don't share their maps with us." Her words resonated with many back home, reinforcing the belief that aliens couldn't be trusted. Instead of apologizing, Earth doubled down, sending reinforcements to protect its interests in the contested zone. Tensions escalated quickly, with both sides exchanging harsh accusations over encrypted transmissions. Meanwhile, humanity's technological prowess continued to grow at an astonishing rate. Engineers reverse-engineered alien tech scavenged during brief encounters, improving upon designs faster than anyone thought possible. One breakthrough came when a team led by Arjun Patel successfully developed a compact fusion reactor capable of powering entire colonies. Another milestone followed when scientists created advanced shielding technology inspired by alien designs, giving human ships an edge in combat scenarios. These innovations weren't limited to military applications. On Earth, cities transformed into futuristic hubs of progress. Skyscrapers made from self-healing materials reached toward the heavens, while autonomous drones delivered goods across continents. Schools taught children about terraforming and interstellar navigation, preparing them for lives among the stars. Yet, not all was well within humanity's ranks. Wealthier nations dominated the space race, leaving poorer countries struggling to keep up. Protests erupted in cities around the globe, demanding equal access to resources and opportunities. Some accused corporations of exploiting workers to build colonies on barren planets while neglecting problems on Earth. Despite these challenges, the momentum continued unabated. In the shadows, the Galactic Council watched with mounting alarm. Humanity's rapid growth defied every precedent. Other species took centuries to achieve what humans accomplished in mere decades. Their creativity seemed boundless, but so did their recklessness. "They're like wildfire," muttered Zix Prime during another heated council meeting. "If we don't contain them soon, they'll burn through everything." Lumina Wave floated silently, her thoughts unreadable. She admired humanity's spirit, but feared where it might lead. Could such a volatile species ever coexist peacefully with others? For now, humanity pressed onward, oblivious to the storm gathering beyond its borders. Starships carved paths through the void, planting flags on distant worlds. Each victory brought pride and peril, as humanity proved it could thrive without help, but also without restraint. As tensions between humanity and the Galactic Council escalated, one member of the council decided to take matters into her own hands. Lirain, a diplomat from the avian-like Skyrithi, had grown increasingly frustrated with the council's inability to understand humanity. To her, the situation was clear. They were treating humans as a problem to solve rather than a people to connect with. She believed that if she could bridge the gap herself, perhaps peace and cooperation might still be possible. Disguising herself using advanced holographic technology, Lirain slipped past Earth's orbital defenses and landed in the bustling city of Tokyo. Her disguise was flawless. She appeared human, with smooth skin, dark hair, and sharp eyes that blended seamlessly into the crowd. Armed with forged identification papers and a cover story, she began her mission: to infiltrate human society and uncover why they resisted diplomacy so fiercely. At first, blending in wasn't easy. Humans moved quickly, spoke loudly, and seemed obsessed with glowing rectangles they carried everywhere. Lirain marveled at their chaotic energy, which contrasted sharply with the structured order of her own species. But she adapted quickly, learning their customs and mannerisms by observing those around her. Her breakthrough came when she met Dr. Hiroshi Tanaka, a brilliant but disillusioned scientist working on terraforming projects for Mars. Hiroshi worked out of a cramped lab filled with humming machines and stacks of data pads. He was skeptical at first, wary of outsiders who claimed interest in his work. But Lirain's genuine curiosity won him over, and soon they were collaborating late into the night, discussing everything from atmospheric chemistry to interstellar ethics. Through Hiroshi, Lirain gained access to a network of rogue scientists who shared her desire for progress without interference. These individuals operated outside official channels, driven by passion rather than profit or politics. They welcomed Lirain into their fold, seeing her as a kindred spirit willing to challenge authority. But not everyone trusted her. Unknown to Lirain, a shadowy organization called the Veil had been monitoring her movements. Composed of former soldiers, hackers, and conspiracy theorists, the Veil viewed all aliens as potential threats. When they discovered anomalies in Lyran's behavior, subtle signs that didn't quite add up, they launched an investigation. One evening, as Lyran left Hiroshi's lab, she noticed a black van trailing her. Her heart raced, though her expression remained calm. Moments later, masked figures ambushed her in a deserted alleyway. Before she could react, they pinned her against a wall and demanded answers. "Who are you really?" growled their leader, a grizzled man with cybernetic implants glinting under the streetlights. "You're not human." Cornered and outnumbered, Lyran made a split-second decision. With a flick of her wrist, she deactivated her holographic disguise, revealing her true form. A tall, feathered being with piercing golden eyes. Gasps erupted from her captors, but before they could act, Lyran spoke. "I'm here to help," she said firmly, "not to harm. If you listen, I can explain why humanity is worth saving, and why the Council fears you." Her words stunned them. For a moment, no one moved. Then Hiroshi stepped forward, having followed the commotion. "She's telling the truth," he said, his voice steady. "I've worked with her. She's on our side." Reluctantly, the Veil released her. Though suspicious, they agreed to let her speak, but warned her that any misstep would mean consequences. That night, Lyran realized something crucial. Humanity's defiance wasn't just about fear or arrogance. It was about freedom, the relentless pursuit of self-determination. And perhaps, she thought, that was something even the Council could learn from. Lyran's encounter with the Veil marked a turning point, not just for her mission, but for humanity itself. Over the following weeks, she worked tirelessly to build trust with Hiroshi and his network of rogue scientists. Together, they began piecing together a plan that could change the course of galactic history. Lyran shared fragments of information about the Council's internal divisions, revealing how some factions viewed humanity as a threat, while others saw potential allies. In return, Hiroshi introduced her to underground movements fighting against Earth's isolationist policies. But Lyran's presence did not go unnoticed. News of her existence spread through classified channels, eventually reaching the Galactic Council. When images of her true form surfaced online, leaked by an unknown source, the galaxy erupted into chaos. For many Council members, her actions were seen as betrayal. Diplomacy was supposed to be conducted through official channels, not covert operations. The Scifi delegation faced intense scrutiny, with accusations flying that they had undermined the Council's authority. "She has endangered us all," roared Zex Prime during an emergency session. His chidnous body shimmered with anger as he slammed his claws onto the table. "Her interference proves what we've feared all along. Humanity cannot be trusted." Lumina Wave floated calmly in her containment pod, ripples forming in the water around her. "Perhaps her actions prove the opposite," she countered gently. Lyran sought understanding where none existed before. "Should we punish her for trying to prevent war?" The debate raged on, dividing the Council further. Some called for Lyran's immediate recall and punishment. Others argued that her efforts, though unconventional, might still bear fruit. Meanwhile, back on Earth, public opinion shifted dramatically. Videos of Lyran's capture and subsequent explanation went viral, sparking heated discussions worldwide. "Do you think she's lying?" asked a young woman during a live-streamed panel discussion. Her question echoed the thoughts of millions. Or is she right? Are we missing something here? For the first time, many humans began questioning their stance toward the Council. Lyran's words resonated deeply, especially among younger generations who had grown up dreaming of exploring the stars. Social media exploded with hashtags like #ListenToLyran and #HumanityCanChange. Protesters gathered outside government buildings, demanding leaders reconsider their refusal to engage with the aliens. Even Dr. Elena Vasquez, the face of humanity's resistance movement, found herself under pressure. During a press conference, Reporters bombarded her with questions about Lyrane's claims. What if she's telling the truth? One journalist pressed, "Are we really ready to face the galaxy alone?" Vasquez hesitated, her usual confidence wavering. She had always believed humanity's strength lay in its independence, but now doubts crept in. Could cooperation coexist with autonomy, or would working with the Council mean losing control? Behind closed doors, tensions simmered within Earth's leadership. Military advisors warned of escalating conflicts with alien species, urging caution. Scientists argued that rejecting the Council's knowledge might leave humanity vulnerable to unforeseen dangers. Public sentiment, however, remained divided. While some rallied behind Lyrane's vision of unity, others doubled down on their distrust of extraterrestrials. As debates continued, Lyrane prepared for her next move. With Hiroshi's help, she orchestrated a daring plan. A live broadcast transmitted simultaneously to both humanity and the Galactic Council. Using stolen Council technology, she hacked into global communication networks, ensuring her message reached every corner of Earth and beyond. Standing in front of cameras, Lyrane spoke with unwavering conviction. "I am not your enemy," she began, addressing humanity first. "And neither are the beings I represent. Yes, mistakes have been made on both sides, but isolation will only lead to fear, and fear leads to conflict. We must find another way." She then turned her gaze to the stars, knowing the Council was watching. "Your fears of humanity are misplaced," she declared. "They are capable of greatness, but also destruction. Guide them, don't suppress them. Together, we can build something extraordinary." Her speech ended with silence. A moment of reflection felt across galaxies. For the first time, humanity and the Council listened, not to argue or accuse, but to understand. And in that quiet pause, hope flickered like a distant star. Lyrane's broadcast sent shockwaves through the galaxy. For a brief moment, it seemed like her words might bridge the gap between humanity and the Galactic Council. But peace was never easy, especially when pride and fear stood in the way. The Zix Collective refused to back down. To them, Lyrane's actions were proof that diplomacy had failed. They demanded immediate action, arguing that humanity's defiance could no longer be tolerated. "They destroy our mining operation," Zix Prime growled during an emergency council meeting. "Now they mock us with speeches of unity while preparing for war. Enough is enough." Other factions wavered, torn between caution and aggression. Lumina Wave pleaded for restraint, urging her colleagues to give Lyrane's message time to take root. "Change does not happen overnight," she said softly. "Patience is our greatest weapon now." But patience was a luxury the Zix did not possess. Secretly, they began mobilizing their fleets, positioning ships near contested regions of space. Their plan was simple: force humanity to submit by cutting off access to vital resources. If Earth wanted to survive, they would have to negotiate on the Zix's terms. Meanwhile, back on Earth, Lyrane's speech ignited fierce debates. Some saw her as a hero, a voice of reason in a divided world. Others dismissed her as a manipulative alien trying to trick humanity into surrendering its freedom. Dr. Elena Vasquez seized this moment to rally her supporters, framing the growing tension as evidence that the aliens couldn't be trusted. "They're amassing forces near our borders," Vasquez declared during a televised address, pointing to grainy satellite images of distant starships. "This isn't about cooperation, it's about control. We won't bow to their threats." Her fiery rhetoric resonated deeply, galvanizing millions. Protests erupted across the globe, with chants of "Earth First" echoing through city streets. Governments scrambled to respond, authorizing increased military spending and accelerating the development of new weapon systems. Among these projects was the Orbital Defense Cannon, ODC, a massive superweapon designed to obliterate entire fleets from orbit. Dubbed the Hammer of Heaven by the media, the ODC became a symbol of humanity's resolve to defend itself at all costs. When news of the Zix fleet movements reached Earth, panic spread. But so did determination. Engineers worked around the clock to complete the cannon ahead of schedule. Scientists fine-tuned targeting algorithms, ensuring the weapon could strike with precision, even against faster-than-light vessels. Military leaders prepared contingency plans, ready to unleash the ODC if negotiations broke down completely. The standoff escalated quickly. The Zix issued an ultimatum: cease colonization efforts in disputed territories or face consequences. Humanity's response came swiftly and defiantly. A human delegation transmitted a single message to the Zix: try us. With both sides refusing to back down, the galaxy braced for conflict. Yet, amidst the chaos, small acts of hope persisted. Lyran continued working with Hiroshi and his team, sharing knowledge that could help humanity protect itself without resorting to violence. Underground networks exchanged information with sympathetic alien species, quietly building alliances behind the scenes. Even Dr. Vasquez, though outwardly combative, privately admitted doubts to her closest advisors. "What if we're wrong?" she whispered late one night, staring at holographic maps of Earth's defenses. "What if fighting only makes things worse?" Her question went unanswered. For now, as starships armed themselves and diplomats exchanged tense messages, the line between courage and recklessness blurred. Humanity had always thrived under pressure, turning challenges into opportunities. But this time, the stakes were higher than ever. In the cold void of space, two civilizations stood on the brink of war, one driven by fear, the other by defiance, neither willing to yield. And somewhere in between, Lyran watched silently, praying her gamble wouldn't end in catastrophe. Lyran's broadcast sent shockwaves through the galaxy. For a brief moment, it seemed like her words might bridge the gap between humanity and the Galactic Council. But peace was never easy, especially when pride and fear stood in the way. The Zix collective refused to back down. To them, Lyran's actions were proof that diplomacy had failed. They demanded immediate action, arguing that humanity's defiance could no longer be tolerated. "They destroy our mining operation," Zix Prime growled during an emergency council meeting. "Now they mock us with speeches of unity while preparing for war. Enough is enough." Other factions wavered, torn between caution and aggression. Lumina Wave pleaded for restraint, urging her colleagues to give Lyran's message time to take root. "Change does not happen overnight," she said softly. "Patience is our greatest weapon now." But patience was a luxury the Zix did not possess. Secretly, they began mobilizing their fleets, positioning ships near contested regions of space. Their plan was simple: force humanity to submit by cutting off access to vital resources. If Earth wanted to survive, they would have to negotiate on the Zix's terms. Meanwhile, back on Earth, Lyran's speech ignited fierce debates. Some saw her as a hero, a voice of reason in a divided world. Others dismissed her as a manipulative alien trying to trick humanity into surrendering its freedom. Dr. Elena Vasquez seized this moment to rally her supporters, framing the growing tension as evidence that the aliens couldn't be trusted. "They're amassing forces near our borders," Vasquez declared during a televised address, pointing to grainy satellite images of distant starships. "This isn't about cooperation. It's about control. We won't bow to their threats." Her fiery rhetoric resonated deeply, galvanizing millions. Protests erupted across the globe, with chants of "Earth First" echoing through city streets. Governments scrambled to respond, authorizing increased military spending and accelerating the development of new weapon systems. Among these projects was the Orbital Defense Cannon, ODC, a massive superweapon designed to obliterate entire fleets from orbit. Dubbed the Hammer of Heaven by the media, the ODC became a symbol of humanity's resolve to defend itself at all costs. When news of the Zix fleet movements reached Earth, panic spread. But so did determination. Engineers worked around the clock to complete the cannon ahead of schedule. Scientists fine-tuned targeting algorithms, ensuring the weapon could strike with precision, even against faster-than-light vessels. Military leaders prepared contingency plans, ready to unleash the ODC if negotiations broke down completely. The standoff escalated quickly. The Zix issued an ultimatum: cease colonization efforts in disputed territories or face consequences. Humanity's response came swiftly and defiantly. A human delegation transmitted a single message to the Zix: try us. With both sides refusing to back down, the galaxy braced for conflict. Yet amidst the chaos, small acts of hope persisted. Lyran continued working with Hiroshi and his team, sharing knowledge that could help humanity protect itself without resorting to violence. Underground networks exchanged information with sympathetic alien species, quietly building alliances behind the scenes. Even Dr. Vasquez, though outwardly combative, privately admitted doubts to her closest advisors. "What if we're wrong?" she whispered late one night, staring at holographic maps of Earth's defenses. "What if fighting only makes things worse?" Her question went unanswered, for now. As starships armed themselves and diplomats exchanged tense messages, the line between courage and recklessness blurred. Humanity had always thrived under pressure, turning challenges into opportunities. But this time, the stakes were higher than ever. In the cold void of space, two civilizations stood on the brink of war. One driven by fear, the other by defiance. Neither willing to yield. And somewhere in between, Lyran watched silently, praying her gamble wouldn't end in catastrophe. Lyran's gambit had thrown both humanity and a galactic council into turmoil. Her words resonated deeply, but they also exposed cracks in the foundations of fear and pride that had fueled the conflict. For days, Earth's leaders debated whether to respond to her call for dialogue. Meanwhile, factions within the council argued over how, or if, they should proceed with intervention. In secret, tentative negotiations began. Representatives from moderate alien species reached out to key human figures, including Hiroshi and a few trusted members of the Veil. These clandestine talks took place aboard neutral space stations, far from prying eyes. Lyran acted as mediator, shuttling between both sides, urging patience and compromise. The breakthrough came when Lumina Wave proposed an unprecedented solution. Humanity would retain its autonomy, but join the Galactic Council as an observer state. This meant no binding treaties, no forced cooperation. Just a seat at the table where decisions about the galaxy's future were made. In exchange, the Council promised to respect human territory and provide limited technological aid, particularly in areas critical to survival, such as terraforming and resource management. It was a fragile offer, fraught with risks. Hardliners on both sides rejected it outright. Zix Prime called it a betrayal of galactic order, while Dr. Elena Vasquez dismissed it as a trap disguised as goodwill. Yet there were enough moderates willing to try. On Earth, public opinion shifted slightly after news of the proposal leaked. Social media buzzed with cautious optimism, though protests continued outside government buildings. Dr. Vasquez faced intense pressure during closed-door meetings. Military advisors warned her that rejecting the deal might lead to war, a war humanity wasn't ready to win. Scientists countered that accepting even limited aid could accelerate Earth's progress without sacrificing independence. Finally, she relented, but only partially. "We'll agree to this so-called alliance," she announced in a televised statement, her tone firm but measured. "But let me be clear, we will remain vigilant. If the Council tries to manipulate us, we will fight back with everything we have." The Council, too, struggled to unite behind the agreement. The Zix Collective refused to participate, withdrawing their fleets from contested zones, but vowing to monitor humanity closely. Other factions committed reluctantly, seeing it as the lesser of two evils. Chancellor Kellyan addressed the galaxy in a rare public broadcast, acknowledging the challenges ahead, but expressing hope for a brighter future. "Peace is not easy," he said, his translucent body glowing faintly. "It requires trust, patience, and sacrifice. Today, we take the first step toward understanding, not domination. Let us build bridges instead of walls." As part of the agreement, joint patrols were established along border zones to prevent skirmishes. Human and alien ships flew side by side for the first time, their crews exchanging wary but respectful glances. Back on Earth, schools began teaching basic alien languages, and cultural exchange programs emerged, fostering curiosity rather than fear. But peace was tenuous. Skirmishes still erupted sporadically, often sparked by misunderstandings or lingering mistrust. Radical groups on both sides plotted sabotage, determined to derail the fragile truce. Despite these challenges, small victories kept hope alive. Scientists collaborated on projects that benefited all species, while ordinary citizens shared stories of connection across stars. For Lorraine, the progress felt bittersweet. She returned to her people hailed as a hero, though some viewed her actions as reckless. As she gazed at Earth from afar, she wondered if humanity's defiance, its fiery spirit, could truly coexist with the Council's structured ways. Only time would tell. Yet, amidst uncertainty, one truth stood firm. For the first time, humanity and the galaxy dared to dream of a shared future. Years passed, and the fragile alliance between humanity and the Galactic Council began to take root. It was far from perfect. Arguments still erupted in diplomatic chambers, and skirmishes occasionally flared along contested borders. But something remarkable had emerged, a cautious coexistence. Humanity's fiery independence hadn't dimmed. Instead, it found new ways to shine alongside the galaxy's diverse civilizations. Earth transformed into a hub of innovation and culture. Cities stretched toward the stars, their skylines adorned with neon lights and towering spires made from alien-inspired materials. Streets buzzed with life as humans mingled with visitors from other worlds, exchanging ideas, art, and even food. Restaurants served dishes infused with flavors from distant planets, while musicians blended human melodies with alien harmonics, creating sounds never heard before. Spaceports became bustling centers of activity, launching ships bound for colonies scattered across the stars. Earth's engineers continued to push boundaries, improving upon alien technology and developing their own breakthroughs. The orbital defense cannon, once a symbol of defiance, was repurposed into a tool for protecting shared territories, a testament to how far both sides had come. Dr. Elena Vasquez retired from politics, leaving behind a legacy that balanced pride with pragmatism. In her final speech, she admitted, "We didn't lose our freedom by working with the Council. We expanded it. Together, we can reach farther than we ever could alone." Her words resonated deeply, inspiring a new generation of leaders who saw cooperation not as weakness, but as strength. Lyran returned to her people, hailed as a pioneer of peace. Though some Scifi questioned her methods, none could deny the impact of her actions. She often visited Earth, marveling at how quickly humanity adapted to its place among the stars. During one such visit, she stood atop a hill overlooking Tokyo, watching drones zip through the sky and children play beneath holographic billboards advertising trips to Mars. "You did this," Hiroshi said, joining her. He smiled faintly, his hair streaked with gray now. "Not just you, of course, but your courage gave us a chance." Lyran shook her head. "No, Hiroshi. This is humanity's achievement. You refused to give up, even when the odds seemed impossible. That's what makes you extraordinary." Across the galaxy, other species began seeing humanity in a new light. Once viewed as reckless or dangerous, they were now admired for their creativity and resilience. Joint ventures flourished, tackling challenges no single civilization could face alone. Scientists worked together to terraform barren planets, turning them into havens for refugees displaced by cosmic disasters. Artists collaborated on projects that celebrated the beauty of diversity, reminding everyone of what united them rather than divided them. Yet tensions lingered. Radical factions on both sides continued plotting against the alliance, convinced that true peace was unattainable. But these voices grew quieter over time, drowned out by stories of success and unity. Even the Zix collective softened slightly, begrudgingly acknowledging that humanity's presence brought unexpected benefits to galactic trade and exploration. As starships launched into the void, carrying crews of humans and aliens alike, hope flickered brightly among the stars. Humanity had chosen its path, not one of isolation or submission, but of collaboration tempered by independence. They'd proved that differences weren't barriers but bridges waiting to be built. In the end, the galaxy learned an important lesson. Progress wasn't about erasing uniqueness, it was about embracing it. And as Earth's flag fluttered beside those of countless other species aboard a newly constructed space station, one thing was clear: humanity hadn't lost its edge. Instead, it had found a way to shine brighter, together. The stars twinkled above, vast and full of promise. For humanity, the journey was just beginning.